The dare was simple. Kiss the person you like the least in this room. Everyone laughed, and every single person turned to look at me and Leo because everybody knew. Leo and I could not stand each other. We had been enemies for 2 years, since the very first day of university, when we both reached for the last seat in the front row and refused to give it up. We had argued about that seat for 20 minutes while the whole class watched. In the end, the professor gave it to someone else, and we both had to sit at the back, glaring at each other. That was how it started, and it never stopped. I remember walking home that first day, furious, telling myself I would never let that arrogant boy beat me at anything ever again. I did not know then that I had just met the person who would matter most in my whole life. I only knew that he had a smile that made me want to win and win and win. We competed over everything: grades, answers in class, who could finish the exam first. When I got the highest mark on an essay, Leo got the highest on the next one. When he won the debate competition, I won the writing prize the following month. We were always neck and neck, always watching each other, always ready to argue about anything at all. He thought I was a show-off. I thought he was arrogant. He had this smile, this slow, sure smile, like he already knew he was going to win. It drove me completely mad. I could tell you 100 stories about our fights. There was the time we both signed up to lead the same study group, and neither of us would step down. So we had to run it together, and we argued so much that half the group stopped coming. There was the time he corrected my answer in front of the whole class, and I corrected his correction, and the professor had to stop us before we started a war. There was the time we were put in the same team for a project, and we divided the work down the middle with a ruler, drawing an actual line, refusing to share a single page. My friends were tired of hearing about him. You talk about Leo more than anyone else in your life, my best friend Chloe told me once. Do you realize that? You complain about him for hours because he is the most annoying person alive, I said. Sure, Chloe said, in a voice that suggested she did not believe me at all. I did not understand what she meant. Not then. All I knew was that Leo lived in my head, rent-free, all day long, and I told myself it was because I hated him. So when Chloe spun the bottle at her party that night, and it landed on Leo, and he was given the dare to kiss the person he liked the least, everybody in the room knew exactly what that meant. Leo looked at me across the circle. That slow smile spread across his face. Well, he said, this is easy. Don't you dare, I said. It's a dare, he said. That's the whole point. Everyone was laughing now and cheering, and someone was chanting, kiss, 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 and my face was burning red. I wanted to disappear into the floor, but I was not going to let Leo see that he had rattled me. I never let him see anything. Fine, I said, lifting my chin. Get it over with then, if you're brave enough. Something flickered in his eyes when I said that, something I did not understand at the time. He stood up and walked across the circle. He knelt down in front of me, and the room went quiet, the way a room goes quiet when something is actually about to happen. He was close now, closer than we had ever been in 2 years of fighting. I could see that his eyes were not just brown. They were brown with little bits of gold near the middle. I had never noticed that before. How had I never noticed that? You can back out, he said quietly, just to me, so no one else could hear. I never back out, I whispered. You know that. I know, he said. And then he kissed me. It was supposed to be a joke, a quick, funny kiss to make everyone laugh. And then we would pull apart and roll our eyes and go back to hating each other. That was the plan. That was the dare. But that is not what happened. The moment his lips touched mine, everything went quiet. Not just the room, everything. The whole 2 years of shouting and glaring and competing just went silent. His hand came up and touched the side of my face, so gently, like I was something that could break, and I forgot completely that I was supposed to hate him. The kiss lasted a few seconds, but those few seconds rearranged something inside me that I could not put back. When he finally pulled away, he did not smile his usual smile. He did not make a joke. He just looked at me very seriously, his hand still resting against my cheek, and his eyes had that look people get when they have just realized something enormous. The room erupted. Everyone was cheering and laughing. Someone shouted, "The enemies finally kissed." Leo stood up quickly. He was not laughing. He cleared his throat and went back to his side of the circle and sat down and looked at the floor. I sat there, frozen, my heart pounding so hard I was sure everyone could hear it. "That was just a dare," I said loudly, to no one in particular. "It meant nothing." "Right," Leo said, not looking up. "Nothing." But my lips were still tingling, and I could not stop looking at him, and he could not stop looking at me, and both of us kept pretending we were not. I could not stay in that room another minute. Everyone was still laughing and talking about it, and Chloe was grinning at me from across the circle, and Leo was pretending very hard to be interested in his drink, and I could not breathe. I left the party early that night. I needed air. I needed to think. I walked home under the streetlights, touching my lips, replaying the whole thing over and over. The problem was this. For 2 years, I had a very clear idea of who Leo was. He was the enemy. He was arrogant. He was the boy I loved to hate. That idea was simple and safe, and I had built a lot of my daily life around it. But the boy who had knelt in front of me and asked so quietly, "You can back out," did not fit that idea. The boy who had touched my face like I was made of glass did not fit it either. And the look in his eyes afterward, the shocked, open, honest look, did not fit it at all. If Leo was not the enemy, then who was he? And what did that make all those years of fighting? And why, when I closed my eyes, could I still feel exactly where his hand had rested against my cheek? I did not sleep much that night. It meant nothing, I told myself. It was a dare. Leo is arrogant and annoying, and I cannot stand him. It was a game, but games do not make your heart feel like that. The next morning, I dreaded going to class. I did not know how to look at him. I did not know what to say. I planned to walk in, ignore him completely, and pretend that nothing had happened. But Leo was already there when I arrived, and he was not in his usual seat at the back. He was sitting in the front row, in the seat we had fought over 2 years ago, and beside him, the next seat was empty. He had put his bag on it, saving it. He looked up when I came in, and instead of his usual smug smile, he looked almost nervous. "I saved you a seat," he said. The whole class was watching. This was not how Leo and I behaved. We did not save each other's seats. We stole seats from each other. "Why?" I said. "Because I thought maybe," he said, and then he stopped and rubbed the back of his neck. "I thought maybe we could stop fighting for one day, just one day, as an experiment." I did not know what to say. So I sat down next to him, and for the first time in 2 years, we did not argue. It was strange. It was terrifying. It was wonderful. That day, something small but impossible happened. When the professor asked a difficult question, I answered it, and Leo, instead of jumping in to correct me or to give a better answer, just looked at me and smiled and said quietly, "That was a good answer." No competition, no fight, just a compliment. I did not know what to do with it. I think I blushed for 10 minutes. After class, he did not rush off the way he usually did. He walked beside me toward the library, matching my steps. "I keep waiting for you to argue with me," I admitted. "I know," he said. "I keep waiting too. It's strange, isn't it? Not fighting." "Very strange," I said. "I don't know who I am if I'm not arguing with you." He laughed. A real laugh, not his usual smug one. "Maybe we could find out," he said. Something had changed, and neither of us knew how to talk about it. So we just kept being near each other and not fighting, which for us was practically a declaration of love. For 3 days, it was like that. We sat together. We walked together. We did our work side by side in comfortable silence, our elbows almost touching. Every now and then, our eyes would meet, and we would both look away quickly, like we had been caught. I had spent 2 years trying not to think about Leo, and now I could think of nothing else. But it was a different kind of thinking. A warm kind, a hopeful kind. I should have known it was too good to last. But then the rumors started. By the end of the week, everyone was talking about the kiss. And somewhere in the retelling, the story changed. People started saying that Leo had planned the whole thing, that he had asked Chloe to give him that dare on purpose, that he had made a bet with his friends that he could make me fall for him, just to prove he could win at that too. Because Leo had to win at everything, even this. I heard it from a girl named Sarah in the library. She told me she thought I should know. She said Leo's friends had been laughing about it. She said the bet was that he could get the girl he hated most to kiss him back, really kiss him back. And then he would have won the ultimate competition between us. I felt sick. I sat there in the library with Sarah's words ringing in my ears, and I felt the ground drop away beneath me. "I'm only telling you because I'd want someone to tell me," Sarah said, patting my arm. "You seemed happy this week. I didn't want you getting hurt without knowing." "Thank you," I said, though the words came out flat and dead. "Thank you for telling me." I sat alone for a long time after she left. I thought about the 3 days, the saved seat, the soft way he had said, "That was a good answer." Had every single moment of it been a performance? Had he been laughing about me with his friends the whole time, ticking off the steps of his plan? Of course that was what it was. This was Leo. Everything was a competition to him. Every single thing. Why would this be any different? He had found the one game he had not won yet, the game of making me feel something, and he had played it, and he had won. The tingling on my lips turned cold. I did not sit next to him the next day. I went back to my seat at the back. When he came in and saw me there, he looked confused, then hurt. Then he set his jaw and said nothing. At the end of class, he caught up with me in the hallway. "What happened?" he said. "Yesterday we were fine. Today you won't even look at me." "I heard about the bet," I said. He went very still. "What bet?" "Don't," I said. "Everyone knows. You made a bet with your friends that you could make me kiss you back, that you could win the last game we had left. Well, congratulations, Leo. You won. You always win." I hope it was worth it. I walked away. I did not let him see my face, because my face was doing something I did not want him to see. For a week, we did not speak. We went back to being enemies, except it was worse now, because before, our fighting had been almost fun. Now it just hurt. He would look at me across the classroom, and I would look away. The gold in his eyes, the gentle hand against my cheek, the quiet way he had looked at me after the kiss. I told myself it had all been part of the game. That week was the worst I could remember. I kept replaying everything. The saved seat. That was a good answer. The way he had matched my steps to the library. Had all of it been an act? Was he really that good at winning that he would spend 3 whole days pretending just to make his victory sweeter? But there was a small voice inside me that would not stay quiet. It kept asking questions. If it was just a bet, why did he look so hurt when I moved back to my old seat? If it was just a game, why had he stopped smiling entirely? Leo, who always had that sure, confident smile, now walked around looking gray and tired, like something had been taken from him. Chloe found me crying in the library one afternoon. "This isn't about a bet, is it?" she said gently, sitting down beside me. "This is about the fact that you fell for him, and now you're scared it wasn't real." "He made a bet," I said. "Did he?" Chloe said. "Or did someone say he did? Because I was at that party. I gave him the dare, and I can tell you exactly why he asked for it, but I think you need to hear it from him." I did not answer her, but her words stayed with me all night. Then, one afternoon, I found a note in my bag. I did not know how it got there. It was folded small, tucked between the pages of my notebook. My name was on the front, in handwriting I did not recognize. I opened it. It was from Leo. "I know you won't talk to me, so I'm writing this instead. There was no bet. I need you to know that. I would never do that to you. Whoever told you that lied or heard it wrong or made it up. I don't know why, but it isn't true. Please, just give me 5 minutes to explain. I'll be at the old bench by the library at 6. If you don't come, I'll understand, and I'll leave you alone forever. But please come. Leo." I read it 4 times. I did not know if I believed it. Leo was clever. Leo knew how to win. Maybe this was just the next move, but something in the handwriting stopped me. It was shaky, uneven, not the confident Leo I knew. It looked like a note written by someone whose hands were not steady. At 6 o'clock, I went to the old bench by the library. I told myself I was only going to hear him admit the truth. Nothing more. He was already there. He stood up when he saw me. He looked terrible, honestly, like he had not been sleeping. "You came," he said. 5 minutes, I said. "That's all?" "Okay," he said. He took a deep breath. "There was no bet. I swear to you, on anything you want, there was no bet. My friends made that up, or someone twisted it. I don't know. But I need you to hear the truth, even if you hate me after." "So tell me the truth," I said. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I asked Chloe to give me that dare." My heart sank. So it was planned, after all, but not to win anything, he said quickly. "Not because of a bet. I asked her because it was the only way I could think of." He ran his hand through his hair. "I've liked you since the first day, since the seat, since we fought over that stupid chair, and you refused to give up. And I thought, who is this girl who won't back down from me? Nobody stands up to me like you do. Nobody. I have never in my life met anyone like you." I stared at him. "For 2 years I fought with you," he said, "because it was the only way I could get you to look at me. If I argued with you, You'd argue back, and then at least you were talking to me. At least you saw me. If I had ever been nice to you, you would have just been polite and forgotten me. But if I fought with you, you remembered me. You thought about me, even if it was to be angry. I would rather have you angry at me than not think about me at all. I could not speak. And at the party, he said, I saw the chance, a dare, kiss the person you like the least. And I thought, this is it. This is the only way my stupid pride will ever let me kiss the girl I've been in love with for 2 years. I can hide behind the dare. I can pretend it's a joke. And I did. I hid behind it because I was a coward. He looked at me, and his eyes were shining. But the second I kissed you, he said, I couldn't pretend anymore. It stopped being a dare the moment my lips touched yours. It stopped being a game. It stopped being a competition. It was just you. It was just true. And I have been trying to find the courage to tell you ever since. And then the bet rumor started, and you looked at me like I was the worst person in the world. And I thought I had lost you before I ever even had you. The evening was very quiet. Somewhere a bird was singing. You dared me to kiss you, I said slowly, because you were too proud to just ask. Yes, he said. I know it's ridiculous. I know. And then, I said, you meant it. And then I meant it, he said. I meant it more than I've ever meant anything. Every day since, I've meant it. I looked at this boy, this arrogant, infuriating, competitive boy who had fought me over a chair for 2 years. And I understood, finally, that all that fighting had never really been about winning. It had been the only language a scared, proud boy knew for saying something he did not know how to say. You are the most annoying person I have ever met, I said. I know, he said quietly. You argued with me for 2 years. I know. You could have just told me. I know, he said. I was a coward. I'm sorry. I'm telling you now. I stepped closer to him. His breath caught. For the record, I said, there was never any bet on my side either, and I have hated you for 2 years. I paused, or I thought I did, until you knelt down in front of me and kissed me like I was something that could break. He looked at me with so much hope it hurt. So kiss me again, I said, but this time, no dare, no game, no hiding. Just ask me. Leo took a slow breath. Can I kiss you? He said. Not because anyone dared me to, just because I want to, just because it's you, just because I mean it. Yes, I said. You can? And he did. And it was even better than the first time, because this time there was no crowd, no chanting, no pretending, just the two of us and the quiet evening and 2 years of arguing finally turning into the truth. When we pulled apart, he pressed his forehead to mine and laughed softly. 2 years, he said. We wasted 2 years fighting. We didn't waste them, I said. We just took the long way. Besides, I would have never fallen for you if you'd been nice from the start. I fell for the boy who wouldn't give me the chair. You can have the chair, he said. You can have every chair. I don't care about winning anymore. That, I said, might be the most romantic thing you've ever said. That night, he walked me home, the way he would walk me home 1,000 times after. We did not fight once. We just talked, easily, the way we never had before, about small things and big things and everything in between. He told me he had almost thrown the note away 3 times before he found the courage to put it in my bag. I told him I had almost not come to the bench. We laughed about how close we had come, both of us, to being too proud and too scared to ever say the truth. Two enemies, he said, shaking his head. Who would have thought? We were never really enemies, I said. We were just two people who were bad at admitting things. We still argue, Leo and I. We argue about everything. Whose turn it is to buy coffee, which film to watch, who is smarter, which is obviously me. Some things never change, and I would not want them to. The fighting was always our language. But now, at the end of every argument, one of us leans over and kisses the other, and the fight just melts away. People at university still talk about the night the two enemies kissed on a dare. They got the story wrong, though. They think it was a joke that turned into something real. But I know the truth. It was never a joke. He dared me to kiss him, and he meant it the whole time.